Okay, so here we are on week 6 and working the border. So the first round of the border is relatively simple. The stitch is very simple. So we've joined into the top right hand corner of the blanket with the right side facing. We do a 1 chain, which as usual doesn't count as a stitch, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that first stitch, and then basically we're doing 1 double crochet into each stitch across the top. That's a UK double crochet. So the first bit is ultra simple. So I will see you in a moment at the far corner for this, because it gets only slightly more taxing as we get to the next section, but basically you're doing a very small neat row of double crochet to the other corner. So I'll join you in a minute when we get there. Okay, so we've done a nice neat row of double crochet along the top. We've come to the corner. I've got 145 stitches there. Then we do a 2 chain, and then the only tricky bit, because we are doing double crochet again all the way down the side, so that in itself is not difficult, but down the side between where we are now, this corner, and the central square, I will just zoom out a little so that you can see this. So we've got all this side, so this section along the side, you can see I've put some markers in, because we need to work 93 double crochets evenly down the side to the central mushroom square, so not into the mushroom but just 2, so where the mushroom and the dark green meet. So what I've done is I've split this up into sections, and I need to do either 11 or 12 stitches in each one. So because I can't split it exact, I'm going to do I'm actually going to do 13 in this first block, because I've worked out that if I do 11s and 12s, except one block where I need to do 13, so I'm going to do 13 double crochet here, and then 11 into that section, and then 12 into the next section, and 11 into the next section. Keep going down. I think I've got my maths right. That should be 93 stitches by the time I get to the mushroom square. So that's just my way of doing it. If you just randomly want to start crocheting and you're good at evening these things out, that's brilliant. I find it's best to split it into little chunks and know what I'm aiming for in each chunk. So I'm doing 13 here, and then 11, and then 12, and working across in 11s and 12s all the way down. So we'll see you in a few minutes at the mushroom square. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we have got 93 stitches worked down the side now, and we're at the central square, the mushroom square. So with this, you're working a double crochet into the corner space, and then a double crochet all the way across. So there are 27 trebles there, and then 1 in each corner here. So you are working 29 stitches in the middle, and then we pick up again as before, and we start to work another 93 down to the bottom corner. So I've actually done the same thing where I've put some markers in already to space that out and to work in the same vein as before. So I'm doing 11s and 12s, blocks of 11s and 12s further down, with a block of 13 going towards the corner. So I'm going to keep going, and we will see you again shortly. Okay, so we've done 93 all the way down the next half of the blanket, and then it's a chain of 2, and then you're working a double crochet into every stitch across the bottom. So you're working really into these spare loops that were left, and as you work into them, keep your stitches fairly neat. Your tension needs to be quite good so you don't end up with a floppy row at the bottom. Okay, we'll keep going. We're going to complete this round now because we've shown you all the segments, so we will see you in a little while at the end of this round. Okay, so here we are all the way round to the end. That's my final corner. I've done a 2 chain and slip stitched back to the beginning. Don't break off the yarn, we need this colour for the next round. Okay, we'll see you in a moment. Right, so we've turned the work around and we're doing a 2 chain, and that's going to count as part of this row, but we're going to be working this way. So we need a half treble, that's a UK half treble where you pull all the way through, 2 chain, and then another half treble, so wrap once, round, back through, round and through all 3. And then you're going to work 1 half treble into every stitch across, so or down the side in this case. So that's stitch for stitch, you'll have the same number going down the sides for each lot, plus your extra stitches in the corner. So that's going to be 215 stitches down the sides plus 1 extra in each corner, and then your 2 chain space. So I'll just work this side, literally doing a half treble into each stitch, and then when we get to the next corner I'll just run you through that just in case. I think probably most of you will know and understand what to do, but we'll run it through anyway. Okay, see you shortly. Okay, so I've gone all the way down one side with my half trebles, and now I'm at the 2 corner chain space. So that's a half treble, oops, 2 chains, and then another half treble into that 2 chain space on the row below, and then we're straight back into half trebles on every stitch across another side of the blanket. So you can see how this is producing a really nice firm edging to work the next bit into. Okay, we'll see you at the end of the round for a quick catch up, and then we'll be on to the 3rd round. So here we are at the end of this 2nd round, and I've slip stitched to the top of the chain 3 that was there at the beginning. I'm going to cut that off, pull it through, and then I'm going to sew that end in because we start with a different colour and in a different corner for the next bit. Okay, see you again shortly. Round 3. It's quite a complex one, so I will stop and start the film at different points so that we can do this as clearly as possible. So we're joining yarn A into any corner chain space, and we're doing 1 chain, which doesn't count as a stitch. And as you know, I like to do that with the tail, just so I can tighten things more easily at the end. Then we are working 1 double crochet, 2 chains, and another double crochet into that corner. Then we're going to work a double crochet into the front loop only of each of the next 6 stitches, so that's actually this one down here. It's not this set at the top, so it's the one in the front. So 6 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. The corners are slightly different, so in the corners we're working double crochets. When we move a bit further on, we're doing slip stitches between them. So we then work a chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're going to miss 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and work into the front loop only of the 8th stitch, and that is just a slip stitch, so we're going all the way through. And then we need to turn the work, because we're going to use this chain that we've just created to actually work the leaf, and I need that thread at the back there. Okay, so this is a bit fiddly. Slip stitch into that first chain there, then a double crochet, then a half treble, then 3 trebles all into individual loops. 1, 2, 3, then a half treble, and then a double crochet into that final stitch. Turn your work, and then into the same stitch, but the other side we're working a double crochet, but at the same time we need to pick up the front loop only in the row behind, and that way we're anchoring the leaf to the blanket. So into the next stitch, into the front loop only of the stitch behind. Oh, I need to do a half treble, I beg your pardon. So a wrap and then in and into that first one, and then a wrap and through all 3. So we're mirroring the stitches at the other side. So now we're going to work 3 individual trebles, but again each time we need to catch the front loop only. So that's 1, 2, oops, to that one, pull the work forward a bit. You've got your 3 trebles, then another half treble, and the final double crochet. This is where it gets a little bit fiddly because it all seems to pull in together. Fun and games at this point, but it does work. Pull that through. That's your final double crochet, and then we want to go back into this stitch to do a slip stitch, but as we do this we're swapping yarn colours because we've got 2 different leaves running around the edges. Okay, so we then do a slip stitch into the front loop only of the next 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, so you can see how I'm going sort of along this front, not into those at the other side. 3, 4, 6, and these are incredibly easy to count because they're in the different colour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, definitely got the 6, and then we start again with the chain of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and slip stitch into the 8th stitch along, and then we work another leaf into that. So keep working 6 slip stitches and leaf. Don't forget you've got to change colour each time. So each time you've completed a leaf, as you get to this end, you must change colour. Okay, we'll see you at the other end of the row, just to confirm the corners, and yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy doing it. Alright, see you in a moment. Alright, so here on the corner, and you can see that I have swapped to the nice lime green yarn again, and this time we're working double crochets across. However, at the same time we need to catch this yarn in as well. So a lot going on for the corners. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Final 7th one is, I can get my hook in it, it's fighting with me. There we go. Number 7. So that's 7 double crochet on that side. Then we need to do double crochet, 2 chains and a double crochet for the corner. So still wrapping in this bit of yarn, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then we're straight back into where you work your 8 chains, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that takes you back into working your next leaf. Okay, we'll see you again shortly. Okay, we're on to the final round. So we join into any of the 4 corners, just pick one, and we do a slip stitch, which doesn't count as a stitch, it's just there to help anchor it. And then we're working 3 double crochets. This one's always a bit fiddly, I feel. 1, there we go, 2, 3, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet just into that first stitch, and that helps to anchor that corner. Now for the next section, I have a couple of things to point out. We will be working into this row, which is row 2, so we're working into those 2, that double green stitch here, and also wherever you come across a piece of loose thread like these that we carried across, they're going to be crocheted into the back of the work. So we start off from a corner working 6 double crochet. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. Just double checking my numbers because we need 1, 2, 6, 7 for that. Right, okay. So we're working half trebles. So 6 half trebles into the green. So I've folded the lime green forward out of the way. 2, Actually, I want that to be further over. I really feel like we need to get straight into that very first stitch, which is always going to be a slightly tricky one to work into. So there, I'm going to go for that one. And because once you get your flow going, it's obvious where the next stitch is. It's always, I find, the first one of the side that's the more difficult one to decide on. 3, 4, 5 and 6. That's just got stuck somewhere. There we go. Okay, so we've done the 6 going from the corner, and then we're doing a half treble into, they say back loops only, that's these 2 here of the first stitch of the leaf. So that's that one, and then we're going to do another one, another half treble, but we need to start anchoring the leaf. So you pick up your first stitch there that's in the back of the lime green, as well as going through the other 2 stitches. Then we're doing another 2 half trebles, and then we need to slip stitch to the back of the central stitch. So I'm picking up here, you've got your 2 front loops there, I'm picking up that 3rd one at the back. Let's get that. So pick that one up, and that one, and that one. So there's a lot going on there. You've got 3 things all being crocheted into that loop. Then we need to do another one, and then we're doing another where we are picking up a loop, and then encasing that one and picking another 2 up, and then we do a final half treble into that final stitch. My blankets, there's quite a lot of it now, so working with it on my knee. Sorry, I'll come back into vision shortly. There we go. We're now working half trebles into these 2 back loops of the green stitches for the next 7 stitches, encasing whatever colour thread is kind of flopping about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we've got the half treble, and then we've got another half treble, but catching the back of one of these stitches just to sort of really anchor it back and keep the leaf open. So that's 1 there. Then we do 2 more half trebles, and we're going to slip stitch into the back of one of these just to, again, really keep it nice and open. So I'm going to take that thread there and do a slip stitch, then another half treble, and then another one where we catch one of the threads, and then work into like that, so you can see how nicely it's just catching them and holding them in, and then a final half treble, and I like to catch both of those in there. I think that looks so much neater. So keep working all the way along, doing the repeats as per the instructions, and making sure that you catch all those threads in there. Okay, we'll see you at the end of the round. So here we are at a corner. You need to double crochet, so you've worked your final 7 back loop only half trebles. Then we're doing a double crochet there, then 3 double crochet actually into the corner space, and then another double crochet into the front stitch, and then we pick back up with working the half trebles into those back loops of the row below, so row 2. So we're back to working those across. So that's where you're slightly different on your corners. You've got a double crochet into that front stitch, 3 double crochet into the corner, and another double crochet there, just to really anchor those corners in. Okay, we'll see you at the end of the round. Okay, so here we are right at the end. I've done a double crochet into that final stitch there and a slip stitch to join. So we are at the end of that final round, which feels great. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I'm just now going to create and pop on the corner flowers. So we'll do that in just a moment. Okay. Okay, right, so we've made 4 of these little flowers and left a couple of tails at the end here, and these are because it's recommended to knot them onto the corners of the blanket. So I'm putting one of the threads through one side and the other thread through there. So you can see how I've got the 2 threads coming through and through to the back, and it's as simple as, don't over tighten it, but literally doing some knots there. That will secure it, and then I like to just sort of thread the tails back through, and because I've saved the yellow this time, I just like to run this through the back of the yellow if I can. It's quite tight. And if you wish, you can anchor it at a 3rd point then, so I can do that and then pull it through, and it's anchored it even more firmly into the corner. You can bring them in a bit if you want to. I quite like mine overhanging the edges. So again, very much personal preference on that one. You might like them to be slightly further into the blanket, but nothing on that score is wrong. So because I've done the knots, I know even if this bit were to sort of unentangle itself a little bit, it's still not going to fall off, which is the main point. So thread this through. Some of these back loops. There we go. That feels nice and secure. Chop that off, move it over to one side, and there you've got your flowers. I'll just show you the opposite corner. So we've got them in there. Okay, so that's all the working instructions finished. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed doing this. So yes, just enjoy the process and enjoy the lovely blanket at the end. Thanks for watching. Bye.